and welcome to another episode of Spoken Threads. My name is Nomfundo, and I'm here with my beautiful sisters.
Beneath Tato.
Welcome. So, guys, I was scrolling through something, I don't know, status, something, and I saw a post saying that if people had a choice as to where they lived, they would live in an area that was comfortable. So, for example, if you're from the location, maybe you would live in the location, but because you want to be closer to the best schools, to the workplace, you tend to move to the suburbs, whereas perhaps maybe that's not the place that you want to live. So I want to talk about, this episode is called Location, 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 and how where you choose to live, the impact it has, not only on your wallet, on the schools, on distance from jobs or schools, and how that can have an impact on just your lifestyle in general. You know what I mean? So, so I was looking for a Spaniana place in Cape Town, a place to reside in. And I'm finding out that Cape Town, South Africa, is very expensive. And I think because of the nomad situations happening, the digital nomads that are living there, the prices have been really gone up. And so you end up, you think, okay, I want to live closer to maybe the beach, but you can't afford that. Or I want to live closer to the city center, but you can't afford that. And it becomes a challenge because also you want to be close to the schools that are great, you want to be close to maybe your workplace and all those things. And it just becomes a challenge. And I know you have a story for us because you've lived in a very fancy part of Johannesburg. And then what happened with you, Tato?
Okay, I'll go first. That's my cue.
Yes.
So I lived in Bryanston for what, 2 years?
Oh, 2 years, okay.
Loved it. The Bryanston East, because there's a difference.
Okay.
Right? You don't want to be on this side of the freeway, you want to be on the other side.
Okay, got it. Got it.
So rates there were incredibly expensive. Beautiful leafy suburb.
Yes,
right? Close to work, whether you work in Sandton, Joburg CBD, or whatever the case is.
It's central.
It's central, right? Even if you worked in Pretoria, which I've never, but again, off the freeway, you're there, right? However, detractor was the rates.
Yes.
They were exorbitant. Every month when that rate statement came in, you're thinking, oh my goodness, I could have been driving a Mercedes-Benz.
Yes.
The fancy one.
Yes.
And I'm giving my money to the government. Every month.
Every month,
And that's the only reason why ultimately I decided to move out, because it just does not make sense. You've got your bond or your mortgage to pay, you've got your rates to pay as well. Over and above that, I was on prepaid. So the rates are still expensive, and you spend your electricity is right. So it just did not make sense for me, because remember, in the long run, you're thinking, if it does carry on like this and I retire, yes, there is a pensioners discount, but it's not going to be
it's not make a big
heavily.
No.
It could be a 10 or 5%, I'm not sure what it is, but in the long run, it does not make sense.
It's not going to make a dent.
No.
Correct. Your kids are growing up, you want them to go to the best schools, the best varsities, and you want them to have a nicer start. It's a nicer start when they finish varsity. You can't do that if you'll be paying rates at that amount. So I decided, let me find a house that I love, still in the north, but much cheaper compared to the rates. So I'm on the other side of the freeway, not in Bryanston, but the rates are much more affordable.
So it's like half the amount, or even less than half?
More than half. More than half.
Yeah.
It absolutely makes
a
sense.
Huge difference,
Yes.
Makes a big difference.
Correct. So for me, it just didn't make sense for me to live there, even though I love Bryanston. But every month, for the first week, when you get the statement, it was a heart attack. Anxiety, heart palpitations. It was really unaffordable. Really unaffordable. But going back to what you were saying about, you need to find out what's important for you. Some people are very married to being in a suburb for whatever reason. And Bryanston happens to be the top 5 in Johannesburg, right? Some people will say, I will live here because the school is 5 minutes away. I don't want my kids to wake up at the crack of dawn and have their long day in traffic, get to school, you're tired already, you've been up for 3 hours. So for different people, it makes sense. For me, just make it sensible and affordable, because in the long run, our future is not guaranteed. What if I had stayed in Bryanston and lost my job? What do I do there?
Exactly.
So just be sensible, because you need to save as well.
Absolutely.
So pick your battles.
I think
Exactly.
I think I've got a nice story to share, and why it's so important while you're on the market, while you're looking. Be careful of the agents.
Yeah.
I just want to say that. Okay.
Yes.
Some agents I feel are very shady.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, they're salespeople, so some
Yeah,
salespeople can be very
No, but
snake-like.
I mean, I've got stories.
Mm.
So I've moved a couple of times.
Yeah.
Mm.
A lot of times.
Really?
A lot of times.
I've moved a couple of times
Yeah.
around. So we moved originally, obviously, out of our location that we grew up in, and then we moved closer into the suburbs for the reasons that Tato stated, like better education for the children, safer environment,
Commute to
closer,
work.
Yeah.
closer commute to work, easier amenities in terms of shopping centers,
Correct.
etc.,
Yeah,
etc.
Those are important.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So a real estate agent one lost out on a beautiful property because she was actually the seller of that property and the seller for like
Yeah. Same place. So you were selling a property and buying,
yeah.
and they were in both transaction.
My goodness.
well
Yeah.
out because she actually the person then the offer fell through because
Yeah.
we were sold on the property,
Yeah.
but the person obviously then pulled back the offer because they were like, actually now what you're showing me is I've got a great house.
Yeah.
Correct.
I don't want to live
Yeah.
in my house anymore.
So your house was sold and you could never wait to move to.
Yeah, but wait.
Okay, sorry. Getting ahead of myself.
Topic, but question before you move
Yeah.
on. Surely there's a clause in your agreement, in your offer to purchase that
Another tip.
says, yeah.
Yeah.
Another tip.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Once you sign the offer to purchase,
Yes.
Yes.
you dead in the water.
Yeah.
Mm.
You cannot.
And
The,
then you cannot
Yeah.
change your mind. You
Yeah.
cannot. Yeah.
the seller can do anything they want to.
Mm.
It's the buyer
Mm.
that is dead in the water once you sign the offer to
Yeah.
purchase.
Yeah.
You literally have no leg to stand on.
Mm.
Okay, so that's lesson number one for the real estate agent.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's very good.
I think we need to have like a topic
Yeah.
around this.
Yeah, because estate agents
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and buying is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other thing about location is knowing the location. Especially if
Yes.
you're going to an unfamiliar location.
Correct.
You're
Correct.
true.
Correct.
Moving from the south to the
Correct.
west end,
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
we didn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So I felt like we were duped.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because when you go and view, you don't see,
No.
you don't go there like in the morning, during the day, at night,
Yeah.
or 2 o'clock in the morning. You
No.
don't know what's
Correct.
happening
No.
at those times. You just go
Yes.
there,
No.
to view, and you think, oh, this is nice.
Yeah.
And then at 2 a.m., there's actually someone that
Yeah.
plays the flute or something.
No,
you know?
you don't know. You don't
Lucky
know.
this is a flute.
You
Can
lucky
you
it's a
imagine
flute.
loud music?
You're very
Yeah.
lucky if it's a flute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were not knowing.
Yes.
Okay, the
Mm.
areas, the different
Mm.
like
Yeah.
Tato knew that on that side of the highway
Yes.
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 was the better. We
Yeah.
didn't know.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
went back roads and we saw the place. And Happy always makes a joke up until today. He says we walked in, we saw the balls.
I love that chandelier. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
sold on the balls.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
For our viewers, the balls is the chandelier that they had over the kitchen counter.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Stunning,
Stunning.
Yeah.
wrong location.
Yeah.
Beautiful property
Yeah.
Beautiful.
in the
property.
shadiest area you can
Correct.
find.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
And just on that, so estate agents will usually have their open show houses,
Yeah.
Yes.
whatever the case is, on a Sunday afternoon from 2 to 5.
Yeah.
And let's think about it logically.
Yeah.
If you've got teenage kids, they would have been out the night before they're
Correct.
sleeping. So there's no loud music.
No.
No one is playing the
No.
flute
No.
on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
If anything, people are having lunch
Yeah.
at a restaurant
sleeping.
or having
Yeah.
a braai
Yeah.
or went to a
Yes.
friend's house for a
Yeah,
braai.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Again, it tricks you in thinking, oh, it's a quiet, safe
Mm.
neighborhood, no one in the street.
Mm.
Going back to the Bryanston East example,
Yeah.
we went again Sunday afternoon, very quiet. We check it out when we've got time on a weekend as well, right? Little did we know when we actually did the offer to purchase and it went through, there is actually a back route to get to Bolthoff. So it's quite busy. During the week,
Oh, yeah.
it's
So traffic is
Yeah.
a nightmare.
it's a nightmare because now I'm thinking when I was viewing this before I did the transaction, it's quiet. You can tell it's quiet. During the week, peak hours.
Yeah.
From your 6 o'clock to 8 in the
Wow.
afternoons, 3, 4, people use that to cut from Rivonia or Paul or whatever, or Lone Hill
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
come back this way into either William Nicole or
Yeah.
whatever the case is. So again, it's important what you're saying. When you go and view the property, go at any odd hour.
Yeah.
During the week, at night, check if there's anyone creepy looking,
Yes.
walking around. Check for the traffic, like I just said, or anything that will just give you that comfort
Yeah.
before you sign on the
No.
dotted line.
Absolutely. To your point.
Yeah.
2 months later, we found out that just behind, we are literally a street away from Albertina Sulu, where most of the time
The highway. Yeah.
is
Yeah.
an informal settlement. 6 months or
Yeah.
a year later,
Yeah.
was then officially.
Yeah.
So all the little trees disappeared,
Oh, wow.
and
So
then Shabine music started.
So,
Yeah.
okay, I want to cut out the trees. I don't know what you cut out the trees. But you know, all respect to people that live in informal settlements. But for you, who paid that amount of money for your
Correct.
property, it
Yes.
reduces
It
your
devalues it.
it
Yeah.
devalues your
Yeah.
home, and you didn't know
You
that.
can never sell it
You-
as well.
And it would be nice if you had
Yeah.
the choice that, okay, I want to live next to a formal
Yes.
settlement
Yeah.
and be fine with it. But if it's like almost
Correct.
like you were duped into it and you didn't
Yeah.
know, that
Yeah.
becomes an
Yeah,
issue.
no, the music keeping us up from Friday to
Correct.
Saturday, Monday
Yeah.
morning.
And there's
is
no WhatsApp
appreciated.
music you can
No,
play.
nothing. So
Sunday night,
it
turn
is
it
what
down.
it is.
Yeah.
And the other thing also is
Yeah.
know the background of the property, the details, right?
Mhm.
Because the important thing is
Yeah.
we got held up
Yeah.
in the process, or in the middle of, I
Yeah.
want to say it more like a legal litigation
Yeah.
process for
Yeah.
almost 6-8 months.
You're lucky. For
Yeah,
us, it was over a year.
exactly.
The first house we bought.
Yeah.
Sorry, my friend, I'm cutting.
No,
you.
no, go for it. Go for it. Important for our viewers
Okay.
to know.
Background is so important. And yes, people will not be honest, especially your estate agent,
Yes.
not the seller.
Yes.
Because they're never involved.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the first house we bought 14 years ago, it was a couple going through a divorce.
Yes.
It was a
I
messy.
remember. I
It was
remember.
a messy
I
divorce.
remember.
We ready, 2 kids, move out. We're thinking 3 months, great. We start buying furniture.
Correct.
We filled our
Correct.
mom's
Yeah.
living area.
Yeah.
Over a year.
Yes.
You would follow up. It's
No
the-
way.
I'm telling you.
Yes.
Over a year. I don't know what was going on and why did it take so long. But it was over a year and they were going through a divorce and that was it. You would follow up. You would say, you can't, as you said earlier on, once you sign as a
You can't do anything. You can't pull out. Yeah.
It's
unless
fine.
you've got money to pay the estate agents their fees, because that's one of the clause as
Yeah,
well. Like if
yeah.
you pull out,
Yeah.
this is what's in it for you.
Correct.
And you can
So,
imagine if you didn't
yeah.
have a place to put your stuff, you didn't have like another
Yeah.
alternative, you'd be stuck
Yes.
with.
From being excited
Correct.
to
Yeah.
thinking, right, during that time, other houses, nicer looking, come up with the market.
Yeah.
In the
At the
same
same-
area.
You're
You're
thinking the same
"Let's
price."
And now you're stuck because you can't go
You can't do anything.
literally
Yes.
tied up.
Mm.
And what was our situation was our seller was actually, he registered the home or the house property as a business. And the business was declared insolvent.
Oh my word.
So it literally had to go through a whole legal
Yeah, liquidation process.
Yeah.
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 that ended us, we had to make a private arrangement with the seller to pay him rent.
Oh.
Because our property in this house was already sold and we
Yeah.
had nowhere to
To
go.
go, yeah. So you had to pay rent in the house that you're
Yeah,
supposed to be living.
occupational rent, yeah.
Oh, it doesn't make
And
sense.
no fault of your own.
Yeah.
Because you ask the right questions, but people are obviously not very generous with information sometimes.
Yeah. But I think what we need to do
Yeah.
is have another episode
Yes.
where we talk about those things to look out for in contracts, specifically
Yeah.
when you are trying to buy a home. But I think the important thing for today's episode is looking for a place, location. Make sure you know which area you're going to. Ask around. There are so many, Facebook groups that will tell you that you can
Correct.
read and find
Yeah.
out if that area is a good area.
Mm.
And also think about it. Do you want to be close to work? Do you want to be close to schools?
Yes.
Can you afford the area? Can you afford the rates?
Mm-hmm.
Can you afford to be paying so much for rates?
Mm.
And all those things need to be considered.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
what is your experience? How have you dealt with having a place or buying a house or living in a certain location in an area, suburb, whatever it is that is perfect for you? Just tell us some of the challenges that you've had. But from us, thank you so much for staying with us, sharing and subscribing and liking all our content. We appreciate you and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.